2010, Epic Games came up with an idea for their latest game, Fortnite. While it was originally planned to be a horror game, it would quickly transform into one of the biggest titles in the world, generating over $20 billion. The alpha gave us a glimpse of hilarious default skins, a fresh building system, and the first ever design of tilted towers, but the game was plagued with massive problems. Over the next 7 years, Fortnite would be delayed and was on the brink of being cancelled, with the director of production at Epic Games attempting to fully scrap the game because there were too many issues with it. Just before he canceled it, he left the company and development continued for the foreseeable future. It's now 2017 and Save the World have been in development for at least 7 years, with them preparing to release it in early access. But development had taken so long that players didn't care about zombies anymore. They were focused on a totally new genre, and Epic saw an opportunity. They created a small team of just 50 people, and within a few months, Fortnite Battle Royale was made, aimed at rivaling the success of PUBG, which was the fastest growing game at the time. In September, it released for free, and for the first month, Fortnite didn't have any seasons. We were thrown into a new original map that contained 9 POIs, with the building mechanic taken from Save the World and a new innovative crouch button. Yeah, it never had that before. Eventually, Season 1 began and skins were released. Instead of a rotating item shop, there was a seasonal store that locked cosmetics behind levels. You had to unlock them with XP and then buy them with V-Bucks. Streamers began to emerge on the scene like Ninja, Myth, and Daquan, making a name for themselves and being considered the best players in the world at the time. This is where Fortnite exploded. The launch of Season 2 introduced the first ever battle pass with 70 tiers, a medieval theme, and the addition of tilted towers. More POIs appeared, such as Shifty Shafts and Haunted Hills, which was designed by a fan. Mini shield potions, campfires, and worst of all, the Boogie Bomb was added. These became some of Fortnite's most iconic items. But it wasn't until Season 3 when Fortnite changed gaming forever. All it took was 3 things: the first ever LTM, a John Wick ripoff, and a meteor in the sky. With teams of 20, Fortnite began to experiment with limited time modes, while the Reaper skin hinted at the future Epic Games always wanted. They were dreaming of the metaverse, and now it was finally beginning to take shape. Celebrities such as Drake, Joe Jonas, and Finn Wolfhard were obsessed with the game, but in the background, Donald Buster received a call from some secret fans, the Russo brothers. The details of this call would be revealed in just a matter of weeks. As the meteor in the sky crashed down, we were taken straight into Season 4. We now had our first ever story trailer, a battle pass with superhero skins, and new vehicles like shopping carts, bouncers, and the jetpack being introduced. And it wasn't long until Epic Games decided to break the internet. Exactly 1 week after Season 4 launched, they made an announcement of Fortnite X Avengers. Playing as Thanos wasn't enough for Epic. They had an even more impressive event in store. At the end of the season, the rocket was preparing to launch. While the meteor crashed into the map through a trailer, Fortnite wanted to do things differently. This had to happen in-game. The blast-off event began as millions of people stopped fighting to sit and watch. It pretended to strike Tilted, but created a huge rift in the sky instead, marking the start of Fortnite's storyline. The event was a success. Although what player broke the world record for eliminations after they wiped out an entire lobby who were just trying to watch the rocket? The evolution of Fortnite continued with Season 5, bringing a new desert biome and adding insane items like the Grappler, Portafort, and P90. The game was quickly moving away from the double pump meta and into spray and pray. But Epic didn't want players waiting around for the next event. Instead, a cube spawned on the island midway through the season. The season came to a close when Kevin sank into Loot Lake and made it bouncy. It was super confusing, but this was secretly the build-up to Season 6's Darkness Rises. The cube began to levitate, turning into the floating island. The location of this POI changed every few days, and you could find shadow stones nearby. These were extremely broken, and a glitch made players invisible all game, forcing them to be vaulted for a very long time. We were also introduced to the Quad Crasher, letting people fly across the map and pull off insane trick shots. For Fortnite, zombies were added to the game, along with a new 6-shooter and crossbow weapon. It was pretty controversial, but it would only get more annoying in the years to come. Luckily, players quickly forgot about it as Fortnite added NFL skins and revealed its next experience, the Butterfly event. This was insanely confusing, with the cube draining and taking us to a weird dimension. It was a huge step up from the rocket launch, and the community was very impressed. Although as 2019 began, the game evolved so quickly that it caught a lot of people off guard. With the launch of Season 7, we were given huge map changes as an iceberg crashed into the island. The Battle Pass included skins like the Ice King, Lynx, and Onesie, and if you bought it, you get early access to a new mode, Fortnite Creative. It wasn't all fun and games, as Epic made two of the most controversial decisions in Fortnite history, adding planes and the Infinity Blade. These were insanely overpowered and were used to destroy people in tournaments. At the same time, we got the Ice Storm event, where the entire map was covered in snow. This had a ton of server issues, stopping millions of people from watching the event, and it brought ice zombies onto the map. These mistakes were forgiven pretty quickly, as a brand new live event began at Pleasant Park. You probably already know what this was, because it was that popular. Marshmello took to the stage and performed a virtual concert to 10 million people. As the snow melted, the theme switched entirely, and Season 8 brought pirates to the map. There's a volcano, geysers, and cannons. At this point, Fortnite was so famous that everyone was rushing to make their own battle royale, and EA had been cooking up a worthy competitor, Apex Legends. It was praised for the revive system and the way you could ping teammates without voice chat. So what did Fortnite add in response? Reboot vans. Season 8 also included a new vehicle called Ballers, and they were insanely broken. People would hide in them for the entire match, with a final storm circle full of hamster balls. Soon after, the Avengers LCM returned, this time with more mythic items and a new endgame theme. But over at Loot Lake, a vault had been revealed. For years, players have referred to items as being vaulted, so Epic decided to make it an actual thing. With this live event, we were able to vote for a weapon to bring back, and players chose the drum gun. Afterwards, the volcano erupted, destroying Tilted and Retail Row. It was replaced with a new futuristic POI in Season 9, along with slipstreams and blimps. The Battle Pass included more colorful skins, a sci-fi theme, and a secret outfit named Singularity. And for the first time in Battle Royale, Epic decided to vault the pump, replacing it with a new weapon called the Combat Shotgun. Over at the new Neo Tilted, there was a building which served as the first ever collab POI. It was John Wick's Continental Hotel. It acted as a teaser because after the OG ripoff all those years ago, the official John Wick was finally released into the item shop. And the same thing happened at Mega Mall, with Scoops Ahoy being spotted inside. This led to the Stranger Things crossover, adding Hopper and the Demogorgon into the game, not to mention these weird upside-down portals. Season 9 was just getting started, and I was spotted at Polar Peak, creeping everyone out, and eventually, this monster broke out of the ice. To defend the island, a huge robot was built, and they battled each other in an epic event known as the Final Showdown. The monster skeleton became a POI, and the 0 point was ripped out of the vault. With only days left of the season, Epic just kept shocking the world. The Fortnite World Cup was announced, and the prize pool was $100 million. At the finals in New York City, Booga won the solos tournament and took home $3 million, becoming famous overnight. He even appeared on Jimmy Fallon the next day. During the World Cup, Epic also gave us our first look at Season X, teasing the return of Dusty Depot, but little did we know this was about to change Fortnite forever. Old locations were brought back, like factories and the Meteor, with the season's theme being time travel. Rift zones were introduced, changing POIs all over the map into something new. From Tilted's No Building Zone to Greasy's Taco Time, these things were crazy. But not as controversial as Season X mechs, which were so overpowered that players threatened to quit the game if they weren't removed. It became #1 trending worldwide, and Epic were forced to vault them. More crossover POIs were added too, such as Gotham City and Pandora from Borderlands. But all of this was nothing compared to the secret plan that Epic was about to start. The live event of Season X was on the surface pretty mysterious. It was barely teased, and the only image we got was the island waving goodbye to the bus driver. People began to worry about the fate of Fortnite. And when the event started, we watched as the Seven's rockets led the Meteor into the 0 point, and then everything went black. For 2 days, Fortnite socials were deleted, the game was stuck on a black hole, and kids everywhere were panicking. Was this really the end? In fact, it was the beginning. Epic knew that their version for Fortnite was ambitious, and they needed to start fresh if it was gonna work. After a few days, an update appeared, and the servers were live again. It was time for Fortnite Chapter 2. There was a completely new map, updated graphics, and swimming was added to the game. After years of building over lakes, we can now dolphin dive, go fishing, and drive boats. It also came with a redesigned UI, and a ton of classic weapons were remodeled. POIs like Slurpy Swamp and Steamy Stacks were full of secrets like a healing river or chimneys that let you glide. The community was also taken by surprise when Ninja got his own skin in the game, creating the Icon series. We also got the Bandage Bazooka, the first weapon ever to use 2 inventory slots. With so much content to explore, it's no surprise that this was the longest season of Fortnite history, lasting 4 months. To put that into perspective, we had Fortnitemares, Winterfest, and a Star Wars event in a single season, and it still didn't end until February. When Season 2 eventually came around, it was worth the wait. Some would argue it had more content than Season 1, with mythics, 5 new POIs, and a secret agent battle pass. Deadpool was included as a secret skin, and this section has been mostly collabs ever since. Around the island, there were now helicopters, crash pads, and vaults. If you eliminated a boss, they would drop a a mythic weapon and a keycard to let you earn tons of loot. This is obviously inspired by Apex Legends. There are plenty of other surprises, as this season had not one, but 2 live events, starting with Travis Scott's Astronomical. This took the hype of the first concert and dialed it to 11. It broke the world record for the most viewed video game concert with 45.8 million players over 3 days. It was then followed by another event called The Device, which introduced the new storyline of Chapter 2. We saw John Jones, an actual character who talked to us, and this marked the beginning of the Imagined Order. The event also flooded the entire map, bringing us straight into Season 3. Surprisingly, this was one of the shortest seasons ever, lasting only 70 days. It completely changed the map, with the water levels dropping every week and revealing a new POI. We got Marauders, who drop from the sky with RPGs and stink bombs, shredding you with aimbot. There was also the reveal of Coral Castle, the most hated POI in Fortnite history. To balance it all out, Season 3 also added cars. After so long, you can now drive normal vehicles and fill them up with gas. Fitting with the theme, Aquaman was the secret skin, and Captain America was added into the game on July 4th. Nobody noticed, however, that there was a teaser hiding in plain sight. Just 1 month later, Season 4 began, and its theme shocked the internet. This was a crossover season, with the entire Battle Pass being Marvel themed. The map was covered in Avengers POIs, superhero mythics, and boss battles. Although, if you were on iOS, you weren't actually able to play it, because Fortnite was banned from the App Store after a lawsuit between Epic and Apple. It is still banned to this day, with over 70 million players being locked out of any future seasons. The Nexus War was wrapped up with a huge live event called the Devourer of Worlds. Throughout the season, Galactus had been getting closer and closer to the island, just like the meteor all those years ago. When he arrived, we had to work together to defeat him, flying around in battle buses and destroying drones. Even though we were only in Season 4, nobody realized we were now months away from the end of Chapter 2. With Season 5, the map was transformed. There was now the 0 point in the center, which healed you, and it could be found in a new desert area. This was part of a feature called sand tunneling, where you could hide in the ground and take people by surprise. Except, it was super broken, so Epic had to vault it. While it may look like Fortnite was giving us a break after the past few months of Marvel, Season 5 shaped up to be 10 times more intense. At one point, we were getting 2 collabs per week, from classic movie characters to gaming legends. Aside from that, bars were introduced. You could find them in chests, but also earn gold by completing bounties. And in a surprising twist, Fortnite revealed that a live event was about to happen, but this was different from any other. With the launch of Season 6, we loaded into the game and were immediately thrown into the Zero Crisis finale, a personal live event that introduced you to the new season. It included a story trailer that was directed by the Russo brothers and remains one of the most popular Fortnite trailers to this day. It introduced the Foundation and teased a future villain named Geno. The Spire is created and were given a primal season. This got rid of every sniper in the game and replaced them with bows. There was also a new crafting and hunting mechanic, bringing tameable wildlife to the island like boars and wolves. Despite the season being primal, Fortnite still found a way to add crossovers like Neymar and NBA, but skins that did fit the theme were Lara Croft and Aloy. But little did we know, we were actually gearing up for one of the most beloved seasons of Chapter 2. With crop circles, UFOs, and mysterious radio transmissions, it was time for the invasion. A huge mothership was now above the map, and the loot pool was completely changed. We now had railguns that could annihilate people, especially when you combine them with a recon scanner. The fun items kept coming, like a prop gun or a gravitron that let you throw items around. If you're abducted by the mothership in the sky, you could compete to win loot, which was a super unique feature. Season 7 was able to sneak more crossovers in, including Superman and Rick and Morty, and let me tell you, the internet had a field day with the Rick skin. And this wasn't even including the fact that it was yet another season with 2 live events. It started with Ariana Grande's Rift Tour, and just weeks later, we got Operation Skyfire. Through these events, the last reality was revealed, bringing back the Cube from Chapter 1, but this time in the thousands. The Cube Queen became the new villain of Fortnite, summoning her army onto the map and threatening to destroy reality forever. There were sideways portals full of cube monsters and huge caretakers. Venom and Carnage made a fitting appearance with their own mythics and updated outfits. But the horror theme didn't stop there. We had Resident Evil in the item shop and the Cube Queen in the Battle Pass. But the most horrifying part of this entire season wasn't her creepy Disney music or Sasuke's dead eyes, it was the reveal of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. During the Chapter 2 end event, the Foundation was unmasked, breaking the internet forever. Epic knew that recreating the black hole wouldn't go viral again, so they pulled this stunt instead, and it worked. We watched as a huge plot twist was revealed. There were 2 islands this whole time, and now we were going back to the old one in Fortnite Chapter 3. At first glance, this was an entirely new map with 3 different biomes and tons of POIs. But there were remnants of the Chapter 1 island, with the return of Tilted Towers, the Monster Skeleton, and Greasy Grove. They decided to spice up the gameplay with a new movement feature, allowing us to slide around, and this was made even better by the reveal of Spider-Man in in the Battle Pass. By far the most requested superhero in the entire game, and he had a mythic web slinger which was better than the actual Avengers game. Chapter 3 also gave us a new tent item that lets you transfer weapons across matches, as well as crowns that you could earn for winning games. As the season continued, we got huge map changes like Covert Cavern, and the snow began to melt over time. It got even more impressive with the addition of a new wildlife named Klombo. This huge dinosaur is nicknamed by the community just like Kevin the Cube. It ended up being a fan favorite. Fortnite's Twitter said that if anything happened to him, they would annihilate Tilted, and 1 month later, that exact thing happened in Chapter 3, Season 2. Klombo was gone, and a war had broken out. The island was split into territories, and every week we had to fight for control over them, taking out IO commanders and earning loot. The Battle Pass included 2 crossovers and 2 storyline skins. Doctor Strange and Prowler headlined the Marvel section, and the Imagine and the Origin were introduced. Glimpses of tanks were scattered around the map, along with a drivable battle bus. But Season 2 is known for one of the bravest decisions that Epic has ever made. In the first week of the season, building was banned across every mode. The core feature of the game had been around since 2010, and for the first time ever, it was gone. Surprisingly, people loved it, and once building returned, Fortnite rushed to release a zero build mode, which is now permanently part of the game. The movement system was also updated to fit this new playstyle, allowing us to tactical sprint and parkour onto ledges. Zero build also includes a tactical overshield feature that worked so well in the game. But there was one thing left for Season 2 to offer, a live event, one that would live up to the hype after months of waiting, and this brought us to Collision. After years of seeing the Seven and the IO, their war was about to be over. The mech from Chapter 1 returned, and we used it to defeat the IO, ending that branch of the storyline for good. But Epic was paving the way for the next generation of Fortnite, and that started with Chapter 3, Season 3. The theme of this season was to celebrate the end of the war. POIs like Rave Cave and Reality Falls were introduced, and Darth Vader and Indiana Jones headlined the Battle Pass, serving as the crossovers for this season. But the truly incredible parts of Season 3 were the new features. We had a roller coaster for ballers, and a new sapling mechanic that would grow loot over time. The Spider-Man Mythic was so popular that they decided to bring it back with a new design, releasing the Grapple Glove. And because Klombo had vanished, the prophecy came true, leaving Tilted in ruins. Luckily, we were able to rebuild Tilted ourselves using creative mode and vote for the winner with bars, although there was a controversy that claimed Epic rigged the vote. By far, the most viral moment of Season 3 was Fortnite's biggest crossover of all time. On August 16, 2022, Dragon Ball came to the game with POIs, mythics, and challenges. It became Epic's most liked tweet in just 24 hours, and everyone was talking about it. But in the final weeks of the season, something changed. Characters from the story went missing, and there was a sinister story unfolding. And then, the official teasers for Season 4 were released, revealing the Battle Pass characters. We're gonna see the Paradigm, Spider-Gwen, Emo Meowscles, and this survey skin as part of the next season. There's also an upcoming Chrome villain who will play a huge role in the rest of Chapter 3, and with the IO out of the way, this new storyline is about to get insane. With Creative 2.0 around the corner, a rumored open world mode, and the future of the metaverse, Fortnite's evolution is just getting started. Hope you all enjoyed. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.